Yo, what's the deal? It's your boy Transit Van Don. I'm back with another video. My first 30 days contract edition, and I want to shout out each and every one of y'all because y'all been supporting me crazy. I see the first my 30 days is at 20,000 views, and it's still going and it's still counting. And yeah, man, I want to really get into this because it's very important. The first one was to let y'all know how my first 30 days was in the business. Now this one is to let you know once you find that contract that you feel like you want, the contract is life-changing because it is some good money, but at the end of the day, you got to really understand what are you making and what are you bringing home after expenses. Never mistake movement for progress. All right, so with that being said, let's get into it. So I was at the crib and I was working on the apps and I was making some good money, but I wanted something more consistent, something that I wouldn't have to think about fighting with other people over. And I give this app out all the time, so I never worry about compromising, you know, or these opportunities or other drivers taking from me on this particular app. I always felt like if you put out good energy, you get good energy back. If you put out bad energy, you get bad energy back. I'm really big and firm on karma, and I try to, you know, do the right things, and I try to help out as much as I can and not really respect anything in return, right? So I'm calling around, trying to figure out what's going on. I had an opportunity of getting a contract, moving some auto parts, and that kind of fell through. And it's ironic because the guy that put me on to that, he actually, once I started at this company, I seen this guy here, and he never gave me gas money, but that's a whole nother conversation. So I had that on the table. I had pitched some stuff to Mercedes, and that didn't work out the way it should. So I called this particular company, and if you've seen on the thumbnail, I put a bunch of different major company names on there because I didn't want to offend anybody that I've made relationships with or that still work at that company, because just because it didn't work out now doesn't mean that things can change. And I want to leave that door open depending on the situation. Like I said, I appreciate the opportunity, but the opportunity just wasn't for me at this particular time. So when you leave these companies, try to do it in a fashion where you're not offending anybody, because you never know, things can change, and that might be something that you want to entertain down the line. So I called, I asked her what's going on. She pretty much said that because I have a medium roof, it's no business for me. You feel me? So I just kept doing what I was doing, moving around, and I called back later and asked, was there some opportunities out there now? And she said it was 9 routes available. I said, well, listen, give me 5 minutes with the manager there on site, and I'm sure that, you know, I can persuade him to let me get down, because at the end of the day, I know the business that I can bring, I know the professionalism that I can bring, and let's get busy. So she said, all right, I'll let you come through. When I came through, homie told me that, yeah, we're looking for extended or we're looking for large, but you got a medium roof. You can make some money. You can make a good living out of here. I asked him how much I'll be making. He said around 11, 12, bare minimum. I'm like, all right, bet, let's get busy. He said, all right, I need you to be there at 5. I'm like, what are we talking about? 5 in the afternoon? He like, no, 5 in the morning. I'm like, damn. Because, you know, once you on these apps and you so stuck in doing your own thing, you kind of like make your own time when you want to come in, when you don't want to come in. I got other contracts that's around. People normally hit me and text me when they need me to come in. It's not an everyday thing, but because, you know, the relationship is water, and, you know, we can flow on whatever they got coming in. So I'm like, all right, cool. I get there at 5 in the morning. He like, yeah, I want you to get a feel of things. I want you to look around and see what's going on, blah, blah, blah. Now, it doesn't matter what company it is. A lot of these places all ran the same. You know what I mean? You kind of got to like fight for position to get routes and stuff like that, or just fight for position to get on a dock. You know what I mean? So I already knew what was going on with that. And at this particular place, there's a lot of seniority. If you get there early in the morning, yeah, that's Philly for you. You get there early in the morning and nothing is available, so you just gotta wait around. So I find myself being there for 3 hours before, you know, I'm like, yo, man, like, you know, what we doing? Oh, yeah, we don't have any routes available yet. I got you. Just hang tight. I waited another hour. So I waited there 4 hours on my first day. That was a red flag before I got a route. And the route that I got, it was like 30 pieces, 30 stops. maybe like 50 pieces, and they were all in the same area. It was a quick, fast, easy day, whatever. 2 days later, you know, this is where they started showing their ass. So they start giving you big ass pallets of water, big ass pallets of paper, 120 pieces, 130 pieces, and you got, you know, 30 stops, 40 stops. Now, this is cool. It can be doable if you are, you know, starting around 7, 6 o'clock. If you're starting around, if you get there at 5 or 6 and you're waiting until 9, 9:30, and it takes you an hour and a half or an hour to load up, because you got to not only load up the pieces that's there, but you got to find the pieces that aren't there. So you can load up 100 pieces and be missing 20 or 30. Now you got to play scavenger hunt for all these pieces, because if you're a floater, they don't care. They'll put you anywhere. And these are a lot of stops that these people that have routes didn't even want anyway, or they just leave it behind and they don't care. So when I started, she said it was 9 routes, or when I called, she said it was 9 routes. But when I started, there was no routes available. So I don't know if they automatically went to people that been there longer, because some people been there for a week or 2, they got a spot. Some people been there for a month, they didn't get a spot. So I came down to performance. All right, cool. So I took everything that they said that I needed to take, and I stayed out there as long as I could on days that I could stay out there long. As y'all know, I'm a father of twins, I'm a husband. I'm not about to be out here until 9 o'clock every night and then turn around and still come back 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, because if you don't deliver all your packages and it's out of your control, you got to bring it back the same night, so you're burning double gas, or you got to bring it back the next morning. So now you're sitting around 4 or 5 hours because they don't got a route for you. And even if they do got a route for you, you know, you got to wait because the first and second wave is in the way. And everybody likes to number their shit. They don't just look at the addresses or, you know, scale it between, okay, the first stop 1 through 30 is here, and then 30 through 60 over here. Let me put the 60, the 30 through 60 first, and then let me put the 1 through 30, because when you open up your van, you got all your stops right in your face. They don't do it that way. They'll take it, number it. Well, they'll go, number it, scan it, then they will number it some more, and then load up. That takes more time. So people that's floating, we don't have all that extra time. After pandemic, businesses is closing by 2. Some businesses close by 3. Sometimes you got urgent pickups. Sometimes you got returns and all this other extra. Or, like for instance, I had a situation where I had to deliver, you know, 2 piles of paper. It's like 20 paper. The heaviest gonna move is like paper, water, sugar. It's heavy. I'm telling you. Now, another thing is you don't know where you're going. So you can be this downtown, you can be Jersey, you can be Delaware, you can be in the county, 1 stop. You can have a stop here, 12 stops. You're not going, oh, sweet. But each stop is an hour away. You'd be out here for 12 hours. That's a terrible run because you're paid per package. So the later you start is detrimental and it's hurting you, because if you have a life, you have stuff to do, things to do, then you can't deliver everything you need to deliver because, you know, you're starting too late. So you want to start early. So that's another reason that was causing a lot of people to quit. Playing scavenger hunt, starting late. These businesses after the pandemic, they close them by 2, 3. It's impossible for you to be at these spots before they close. If they close and you loaded up a cabinet or whatever the case may be, some type of furniture or a crazy pallet of paper or whatever, then that's the same pallet that you got to unload the next morning right before you load up your 100 pieces again. So you're doing double the work, not getting compensated for it. And it's one of those things where, yeah, you go downtown and you got to go all the way up to the 5th, 6th floor, or you got to go to the 22nd floor, whatever, and your dolly's not big enough, then you got to do multiple stops to do this joint. You got to watch out, make sure you're not getting tickets, etc., etc. And then you look and then you like, oh, I put $60 of gas in my joint. I got $20 worth of toll. That's 80. Oh, and they gave me, you know, 200. I made 200 for the day. No, you didn't. No, you did not. You made 120 for the day. And not to mention, if it took you 12 hours, it's like, bro, you pretty much making like 10 an hour or less, depending on how long you had to wait. So you really got to understand, never mistake movement for progress. I tell you that all the time because, yeah, it might look like you made a certain amount of money, but if you look at your expenses, and it's not, if it's not coming out to being worth it, then you gotta be man enough or woman enough to say, okay, this is not for me. I need to make other moves to make right. Because if not, you're gonna be working and killing yourself pretty much for nothing. Your business, you have maintenance, etc., and your tires is going, and you don't have no money saved up because of the fact of the matter is it's costing you more to operate, and this is taking up all your time. And it's like, if it's going to take up all your time, it has to be very lucrative, because if not, then what are you spending your whole day on doing this for? You feel me? And that was my thing. And the moment that I felt like something wasn't worth my time, I'm going to go on to the next. Because at the end of the day, I understand my worth, and I have no problem with working hard. It's not the fact about working hard. It's the fact about, are you being compensated properly for your hard work, for your labor? Do you know how much it should cost for your labor? Do you know how much your labor should cost? So it's very important to understand, okay, this is my salary based off my labor. This is my salary based off my time. This is my salary based off my expenses. You feel me? This is something that you got to understand. If you don't understand this, then people going to walk over you, walk over your business. You're going to run your van into the ground, and you look up, you ain't going to have nothing to show for it. Is that really what you want to do? Right? So I'd say all this to say, rather if you go over the road or if you, staying local, make sure that it's worth it. Make sure that you're not just doing this because you want to be an entrepreneur, because that's the thing to do. That's the thing to be on social media. Oh, I'm a boss. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. I'm the CEO. I'm the CEO of a company that don't make any money. What sense does that make? You want to make sure that you put in your business and you're minding your business and you're doing everything that it takes in your power to make sure that, after 2 years, I'm going to be able to see my return and then some. They say, oh, businesses don't make money unless you hit 5 years. That's you can make some good money. You know what I'm saying? But you got to make sure that you have the right contracts. You got to make sure you're putting your right foot forward into doing this. Because if not, you ain't going to have nothing to show for it. But, oh, I'm a business owner. Oh, I got a major contract. You know what I mean? And speaking of that, I got a major contract. It got all type of commercials on TV. And their app is trash. The app stopped when you're in the area, so it's taking you a little bit longer. Or every time it's an upgrade, if you don't upgrade it right then and there, it'll knock you out when you're in the area. And if you're a floater, you don't know where you're going. That could be an issue, a big issue. You got to download and pay more money for an app that you shouldn't even have to do all that for, because the company give you the app. Now you paying money for this app, but it's making you have to buy another app. Your stops is getting messed up. Your time is getting messed up. It's just not what it is. So the grass ain't always greener on the other side. If you out here and you using these apps and you making some good money, you make sure you stay consistent with that and stick with that. Because you're going to get into these businesses. They're going to have you up 5 o'clock in the morning. They're not going to pay you for your time, all your time. Your expenses is going to be higher. So if you're making $200-some a day, yeah, that's cool or more, but your expenses are going to be higher. Your maintenance is you're going to run into maintenance. Man, I had to change my oil like 2-3 times. I had to get gas like once or twice a day. Now it's like if I do my own stuff, I'm getting my oil changes every couple months, or, my gas can last me a little bit longer. My tools is not, getting out of pocket, because tools will be out of pocket. I spent like $2,700 on tools last year just from moving around. Yeah, I made some good money, but at the end of the day, these are part of the expenses, is part of the business. And, so I just wanted to come on here and let y'all know, man. Like, listen, getting these contracts is good. Don't get me wrong. And don't expect to make all the money. I'm not saying you got to go in here and you doing astronomical numbers. It could be that, it could not. All I'm saying is, if you're going to be busting your ass, working hard labor, know how much you want to make based off of that labor. Know how much you want to make as far as where you want to drive, how long you're going to be driving. Know your worth. Don't take no cheap freight. Don't let these businesses say that y'all partners, but they treat you like an employee and they had you running all over the world. They don't pay on your van. So you want to make sure that you're making good money to do what you need to do. So I'm peeping the scene. I'm peeping the scenario. I'm not liking that I get there early. I'm starting late. One day I got sent to Allentown in the middle of a snowstorm, but that's part of the business, part of the game. I finished early that day. The next day I was downtown Didn't feel it. I didn't feel the energy. I didn't feel the environment. It was a hostile environment. People coming in there cursing other people out. I'm in there one day. Back to like the reason why I made my decision. So I'm in there one day. I'm peeping the scene. Next thing you know, this guy come in the office and he's like, yo, y'all always complaining about some shit, but y'all never out here in the field. Y'all never doing no work. And if y'all think y'all can do what the I do, then get out here and do it. He's just dropping F-bomb after F-bomb after F-bomb. And I'm just like, wow. Ain't nobody say nothing in the office from the top of management to lower the management. And then the overnight person that helps as far as close out your orders was telling me that people were adding different things to my manifest. And, a lot of them in the office, they doing a terrible job. And this is the worst it's ever been. And it's so hard to keep help and et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, them knowing that if something doesn't come up, then I'm liable and responsible for the stuff that, is coming up. And I'm letting them know that, well, I never scanned this. So how is this possible that this is even on my manifest? Well, I can tell that you didn't scan it because I can see that they manually put it on the manifest. So it's like the top boss know that they're up, know that they probably care about getting deliveries and packages off of their floor more so than delivering. Like the completion rate of this is not adding up to all the orders that's happening. And there was a situation where 100 pieces went missing, and it was just like, oh, it's whatever, it's 100 pieces. That's strange. Or I actually get called and I'm actually, get there early, and I got a little early, and he's telling me, oh, if you got, packages from yesterday, you got to be there at 6 by 6. And I get there at 6. And I'm like, all right, what's up with my situation? And he was like, oh, I got somebody else that got pieces for you. You got to wait till they get here. And I'm thinking to myself, why do I have to wait until they get here if you just told me that I had to be here at 6? So they should be here at 6 with the other pieces. But the reality is they get there when they want to. Just like some people can talk to them crazy, and then other people can talk to them crazy. Maybe he's a good driver, maybe he's not. But that's not the environment that I really want to be in, where rules apply to some and it doesn't apply to everyone. So that's a little weird, a little strange. All right, cool. I was first told it was 9 routes available. I still haven't gotten a route within 30 days. People adding different stuff to my manifest. People are doing what they want to do. People are stealing. And I'm here and I'm working my ass off, going on this floor, that floor, because people are complaining that they're leaving the stuff outside or they don't come up steps. And I understand where they're coming from. If you give somebody a bunch of paper or a bunch of water or a bunch of furniture, you get to these places and they don't got an elevator. Last thing you want to do is go up the steps and deal with delivering that shit. I get it 1,000%. But at the end of the day, you still got to do what you got to do. It's not that client's fault or that customer's fault that you started late, or, that they gave you all this shit, or you was there since 5 in the morning. You got to still deliver. You got to do what you want to do. You still got to hold up your professionalism at the end of the day. And I was at the point where it's just like, yo, the numbers that I'm bringing in, I could bring in myself doing what I was doing from the apps and just building my relationships. I don't want to do all this extra labor because it's stopping me from doing my YouTube content. It's stopping me from going to the gym. It's stopping me from having time with my children and my family. And I got to dedicate all my time to this. And this is coming from another owner, manager from multiple warehouses. He told me, yo, if you're going to dedicate all your time to this, and you have to make sure that it's worth it. You have to make sure that it's worth your time, it's worth your labor. What do you want to be paid based off your labor? What do you want to be paid based off your driving? What do you want to be based off? What is your rates going to be based off when it comes to, the overall thing of your business? If it doesn't make sense, then you can't do it. So I'm going to end it like this. Never mistake movement for progress. I started the video off that way. I'm going to end it off that way. Comment, like, subscribe. If you feeling what I'm saying, if this apply to you, I got a couple other contracts that I have still, and I'm still working. I have a couple new opportunities that I'm looking to get into. Never settle, keep grinding. Understand that this is the business world. This is a Sprinter van business. You can have a good contract today, and then you cannot have it tomorrow. Work could be booming today. It can be slow tomorrow. Stay 10 toes down with your van. Stay 10 toes down with your business, because there's always going to be money out here. Yeah? For sure.